Tiger Woods' former caddy, Steve Williams, has released his tell-all memoir, claiming in it that the famous golfer used to treat him like a slave. Now, excerpts from Out of the Rough, a book by Steve Williams, were published Sunday and painted an unflattering image of an immature and temperamental Woods. He says, one thing that really pissed me off was how he would flippantly toss a club in the general direction of the bag, expecting me to go over and pick it up. I felt uneasy about bending down to pick up his discarded club. It was like I was his slave. Now, he then goes on to talk about how Woods used to spit into a hole if he didn't make the putt. He also talks about some of the aftermath after the affair was revealed, and he claims that he had no idea about it. He talks about how it was difficult on his family, his job security, how the community reacted to him after this. But everybody's really reacting to this slave comment because it only comes 5 years after Steve Williams allegedly said, I want to stick this win with current boss Adam Scott up Tiger Woods' black asshole. So they're saying there's racial undertones to that. Now there's racial undertones, obviously, to the slave comment, and so people are now drawing a connection.
Aren't assholes more pink than anything else? I think it's more a little bit more universal. I'm not overly familiar, but so okay, your ass can be black. All right. Anyway, on to the substance of this. So I'm with him and I'm against him, right? So actually, the only thing I'm with him on is if Tiger Woods was actually flipping the clubs down and making him go pick it up, right? And don't be a dick, Tiger, right? You make like $1 billion a year. You've been with this caddy for a long time. And hand him the club, right? It doesn't take that much more effort. In fact, it drives me crazy when I watch football and there'll be a referee asking for the ball after the play, and the players, and it doesn't matter anybody's race or anything like that, we'll take the football and like flip it. Like, so the guy's like, son of a bitch, I gotta go pick that up. Just, you're right next to the guy, hand him the ball. But they're almost like, I guess they don't consider their feelings at all. They're like, throw it over his head, they'll throw it at his feet, yada. Anyway, so if that's all he left it at, I'd be with the caddy, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But when you look at everything else, all right, we'll get back to the racial stuff in a second. He says how bitterly disappointed he was at Tiger Woods' affair. Dude, what do you care? Like, I don't know. Like, so, okay, yeah, I guess it's disappointing, but it's not your business, right? And he says, well, it is my business because they asked me about it because I'm his caddy. Okay, you'll live. And then he says, it's also my business because my wife is really good friends with his ex-wife. And so, like, then they came back and asked me if I knew, right? All right, dude, I know you got in trouble at home because your wife thought you knew and didn't tell her. But don't write a whole book about it, right? Okay, am I being
I agree with you. I'm going to be a little harsher. I don't believe you didn't know.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a caddy with this guy for 13 years. How many mistresses? Like 47 or something like that. I'm being hyperbolic. But
it might not be a hyperbole though. Like there was a period of time where every week there was a new mistress,
person coming
out, and that
out.
seemed to last for about 3 years.
Yeah, in high school, in college, my boyfriend was a golfer, and we dressed up. He dressed up as Tiger Woods, and I was mistress number 27 because it was so crazy that they kept coming out, saying that they were sleeping with him. And so, if he's your caddy and he's throwing you clubs and spitting and willing to do that kind of stuff in front of you, and not worried about what you're going to go then to say to the press about your behavior, of course he knew about the affair. You know what I mean? And then he just didn't want to get in trouble with the wife, so he claimed all of that. But I mean, yeah, Tiger Woods is a brat. He's an asshole. He's a douche. Like, we all know that's true because of the affair. And so it doesn't surprise me that he was then, kind of a baby on the course.
Yeah, I think the money must get to people, right? It must make him feel above the law and above other people. And I think that's the thing that's really grating on everybody. And that's why a lot of people are talking about this other than the racial angle. And so one last thing on the caddy, he said, show me and the game of golf more respect. No, look, dude, you guys spend a lot of time together. He should show you respect because you're a fellow human being, right? I agree with you on that. Don't get all high and mighty on me like, oh my God, I can't believe he had those affairs. Honey, I really didn't know. Show the game of golf more respect than having sex with 47 different women. Like, spare me all the weirdly judgmental stuff, okay? So, now, on to the racial stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Black ass, a reference to slavery, but he's saying he was treated like a slave. Is that enough? I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. Black asshole, you didn't need to throw that in. Like you said, first of all, it's not factually accurate. Second of all, it's unnecessary to get your point across. And then the next part is like the slave, like maybe he was trying to like make up for what he said by flipping it. Do you know what I mean? Like by flipping like the roles and that sort of character. But I don't necessarily think that that has a racial undertone, because if you're having somebody, you know, you're throwing clubs and picking them up, that is treating like them with less respect than they deserve when they work for you. And but he makes a ton of money too, right?
Yeah, and
Doesn't
look,
Steve
and I know
Williams
some
make a
people will
ton
think,
of
hey,
money?
hey, listen, you're the caddy, and you get paid a good amount of money because you're at the top levels, right? Part of your job is picking up the clubs. Now,
Yeah.
I don't agree with that because I think he can go one more step and hand him the club.
I mean,
right?
you should treat everybody with
Yeah.
respect, regardless of if they work for you or not.
Right, I agree. But at the same time, if you say, well, he dropped the club when he shouldn't have, so I'm a slave. Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm with
either,
you.
Right?
I'm with you. Because right after he says he had this habit of spitting in the hole if he missed a putt. So what? He's an athlete. Like, he can have like a little bit of a temper. You can be like, oh shit, I missed that. Psst. Like, whatever. Who cares? Like, that doesn't matter. That's my spitting.
Apparently.